Welcome to Gruber Power Hour. I'm Erica.
I'm Wyatt.
And we're really only here for a half hour.
Only a half hour. Don't call us out for false advertising.
Fake news. So today, as you see, we are learning about batteries.
Our bread and butter.
One thing that we do very well here at Gruber is batteries. We are consistently, I think it's one of our most sold items on the product list of all of them.
Yeah.
And today I kind of wanted to run through like the battery history. I thought it was kind of cool when I was reading about it and learning about it. Now, if anyone's going to ask me unbelievably technical questions, we're going to have a pop-up and some slides come up. So maybe just hold your questions about it till the end. Again, I'm not the technical lady, but I do know about batteries, and it's kind of cool. I know we need them. I know I have lots of children, and they always need them, and that I'm never in stock enough for. No, just kidding. So, first off, the history of the 12-volt, right? So, the 6-volt batteries it was used in cars in the 1920s and the mid-50s. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, like, old videos of the cars driving? No wonder they were so slow.
Right? Yeah.
That makes so much more sense. And then the 12-volt battery, the switch to 12-volt batteries occurred in the 1950s as the car engines grew larger, like we're talking about. They needed more power.
Needed more power. Because those rest buckets back in the day, I think they would like top out at like, I don't know, 45 or something like that. And that was like blazing speed.
That was super fast. So I remember watching like the Kennedy car moving really, really slow. The older Cadillacs too started to like then pick up. I thought that was cool. The Model T. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yes,
actually.
I mentioned this to you just before this. My great grandparents moved to Detroit from Poland to work on Model Ts.
Oh, I love Model T.
At the Ford factory in Michigan.
I didn't know anything about them until I got married. And then my husband's grandfather, he had two of them, I think, at one point, and then he had the one.
Really?
But when he brought it to my wedding and I got to see it kind of move and drive, and I just thought it was the coolest thing in the whole world, and I was completely obsessed with it from that point.
Have you ever seen like old footage of like cars before they had like really figured it out and they didn't have shocks and stuff in it?
Yeah.
So the guy would be, they would be driving and they'd be like all over the place. It's so funny to me. I love it.
That's cool. So then there was the maintenance-free batteries. The Delco-Remy Freedom battery, invented in 1971, was the first maintenance-free lead-acid battery used in cars. Again, we didn't have UPSs yet.
Not quite yet.
And then the battery, so then there's the seal lead-acid batteries, and these batteries eliminated the need to add water. So the battery-powered 12 volts are still used today to power a car's startup and accessory power like the radio.
Oh yeah, the 12 volts, because those are the like ones that have both of the connectors like on the top right. Yeah,
positive and negative.
As a silly child, those are the ones that I like to like put on my tongue because it made it feel tingly, and you really shouldn't. Yeah, that's a really bad. Don't do that.
Do it. Do it. I dare you. You won't. You won't.
That is a video of you licking batteries. Please don't.
Please tag me in this video. I want to start a new trend. It's better than huffing like the Freon from an air conditioner or eating Tide Pods. I guess it's better to put a battery on if you have those types of stupid impulses. But the dry cell battery, so that was invented by Carl Gassner in 1888. I didn't know that. I did not know that. These batteries contained a liquid that wouldn't spill. Yeah, so that was very cool.
Which is probably handy considering from my previous demonstration how bumpy those cars could be.
Yeah. Talk about combustion.
Talk about combustion.
Oh, gosh. And then the nickel battery, invented by Waldemar Jungner. Say that 10 times.
Waldemar Jungner. Wait.
Jungner.
Yeah, that's a German name.
Jungner. 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 That's how I would assume it's pronounced.
Actually,
in 1899.
I think it's Valdemar Jungner, actually, if I remember.
Okay, we need to ask
J
Pete.
is pronounced weird. Yeah.
Pete, tag me. Say the proper pronunciation. So these batteries are considered the origin of today's UPS or storage batteries, which is kind of cool since we're moving into that. And then the nickel iron storage battery was invented, like we talked about previously, by Thomas Edison in the 1900s. And these batteries are also known as the Edison battery.
Woo. Oh, that guy.
They were so they thought so hard about naming process, I swear. They were like, got it.
They also, a lot of the time in the industry, the classic 3-prong plug, that's also just called an Edison plug.
I know.
Yeah.
And when I saw the Edison lights, right, when this
Give
is such
Nikola
a chick
Tesla
thing.
some credit. Nikola
know.
Tesla, man. He was cool.
Oh, we did that on the last podcast?
Yeah?
Oh, my gosh. There is such a feud between Tesla and Edison back in the day.
Back in the day, no, it was heated.
They created a huge, or Edison, I think it was, created this huge fake news and conspiracy against Tesla to try to regain the whole AC/DC compatibility, whatever. It was kind of cool.
It's a whole thing,
so
and
cool.
it's wild. And then you feel bad for Nikola Tesla.
So what is a 12-volt battery? What is the battery and how does it work?
What does that mean?
So what its function ultimately is by storing a chemical energy and converting it to electrical energy
it's all
when needed.
chemistry in these bad boys.
So when the electrons move, we're going to do this. We're doing this right now. So when the electrons move from the cathode to the anode, they increase the chemical potential energy, thus charging the battery. When they move the other direction, they convert this chemical potential energy to electricity in the circuit and discharge the battery. So basically, it gets enough power to power other stuff. That's for way lame terms. When somebody explained a battery to me, I went cross-eyed. It went over my head. Didn't make sense to me. Didn't care. I was like, just show me how to put it in my remote.
Thunderclouds, surprisingly, actually not surprisingly, because it's in the same vein, work in a very similar way.
Ooh.
So I learned about this just a little while ago.
Please do tell.
You can probably look this up, and I may be wrong about some of the terminology because I'm not like a meteorologist or something like that. So the updraft of hot air takes all of the charged, not all of, but a lot of the charged, negatively charged electrons upward into the upper part of the cloud, making it more negative. And because of laws of magnetism, it means that the section below it in the cloud is then more positively charged because then those electrons start lining up. And then that causes the same effect below it, where the negative, now at the ground where the lightning will strike, it becomes more negatively charged. And this creates a bunch of potential energy that eventually leads to a lightning strike in that spot. And it's like the same structure as like a battery. You got a positive side and you got a negative side. But
so what
Mother
if we
Nature
got
does it.
like the world's biggest battery cell and we put it under lightning? What would happen? It'll just blow up.
I think it would probably just blow up, but it would be cool to watch.
That would be a cool blow up session. Elon, let's do it.
You got the money too. Why not?
Well, you have the container I could use to blow it up and watch it. Okay, that's all I want to see. I just want to do it safely. So there's two types of lead. When placed in sulfuric acid, it produces electricity, which can be used or replaced. So the basic construction of a lead acid battery is 6 cells connected in series. So each cell producing approximately 2.1 volt. A 12-volt battery is actually 12.6. I know. Fun fact.
0.6. That's so specific.
So a chemical reaction occurs when lead plates and lead dioxide plates are submerged in sulfuric acid, and this reaction creates lead sulfate and ions, which move the battery's positive and negative terminal, like you were kind of just explaining. So the movement of the ions generates electricity that flows out of the battery's terminals.
Those little guys.
Don't put that on your mouth. Please.
It'd be tough.
I don't know how intelligent most people are, but that's straight stupid. And then, so the electricity is dispersed, like let's just say car, right, or UPS, the electrical systems such as the starter, the motor, the headlights, the radio, and those 2 wires that connect to the battery. Some are rechargeable, right? Especially the car batteries. These batteries, they're all like rechargeable, and the chemical reaction is reversible, so the battery can be recharged and reused, which is why every time you start your car, you don't need a new battery.
Which is so handy because it gives me flashbacks to when I was a kid and I had a Game Boy Color, a real flashback, man. Yeah, with cool. Like the little light dongle attachment too, which was fantastic, but would drain your battery way faster. And then, yeah, and then you had to replace the whole dang thing.
That was
so nice
such
nowadays.
a ripoff,
right?
But so smart. New engineers, 2.2 volts. Thanks, Highlander. I don't know where you were going with that.
He's saying
Maybe
2
volts. 2 volts?
Not 2.2 volts. 2 volts.
Oh, okay.
Just format a little funny up there.
Yeah, you look funny. Not you, Highlander. Just, well, I don't know what you
we
look
don't know.
like.
You could look funny.
You could, but that's your own business.
It's okay.
I look
funny.
Okay, so a typical 12-volt battery is made up, like we said, of 6 cells, each producing 2 volts, like you said, for a total of 12 volts.
And there you
the
go.
plates are separated, right, to prevent them from
touching, and that would probably be very bad.
And
we have like a little diagram
the
of this
paste in
too,
place to ensure like a uniform current distribution. So that's kind of cool. So what are 12-volt batteries used in?
Like everything.
Anything that needs that conversion, I think, and the power held. So just everything you could think of that needs electricity,
like a standard,
but mobile.
Yeah.
It's without a physical power connection, it holds power. It generates power. With the generator. God, that just sounded so stupid on my part. I'm glad you all are here.
This
Thanks
is a safe
for
space.
dealing with my fun. The safe place.
And this is a safe place where we can
I
be
never
stupid.
thought I'd need
Earlier,
one.
I very badly explained how clouds work. So
No, you did not badly explain it. Now we know it's up in the cloud. So we'll go into our slides. So Jesse, if you want to bring up that amp hour for me. So amps are the amount of energy. A 7 amp hour battery can supply 7 amps.
Which one? Can you show me the picture of which one you're talking about?
For an hour.
Battery amp hour. Gotcha.
thanks.
Thanks, Jesse. So the amp hour is the amount of energy over time, right? And the higher the amp hour, the longer the battery.
And this is important to note, like, hey, there it is. Especially when it comes to like your UPS, because that's really going to determine the compatibility
What's
of
your
what.
runtime?
Yeah, exactly. What runtime do you need is going to determine the amp hour that we're going to be looking for to replace in there, as long as along with like your load and all that fun stuff. So
and then like the amp hours, as it says there, they're increased by connecting batteries in parallel. So. Yeah, kind of cool. And then the next one is about battery voltage. So the DC voltage. Sorry. You're Jesse.
Got it. One sec.
So the DC voltage has plus and minus polarity, and the batteries are ideal for storing electricity, like we've talked about. And all batteries use direct current or DC voltage. And the DC voltage does not change polarity or alternate. The voltage is electromotive force or potential difference. And then voltage can be increased by connecting them in series. So the DC voltage is less efficient for long distance transmission. Hope that makes sense. It didn't to me until I saw like an actual video going down. You all are learning with me, okay? Right. I may have worked at Gruber 10 years ago, but if anyone's ever done anything and then stopped and tried it again 10 years later, it's not like riding a bike. I don't care what anyone says. Learning all of this technical information and learning how all of it works, it's a process, and we're doing it together.
I'll say that, if you don't remember our background, you were here 10 years ago. I'm a fairly fresh account manager, been here for about 1.5 years. What's kind of helped me with like learning some of this stuff is I already kind of had an innate interest in chemistry. Like I was that kid who was asking all the questions in science class back in high school. I was annoying.
I was the
And-
one falling asleep.
Yeah. But like I loved it, which is like the idea of like potential energy. That's why I was like, yeah, it's all just chemistry. It's a chemical reaction that's happening. Like and it's so cool that we can harness those kind of natural forces to do so much like in our lives. Like everything around us is all things are chemicals. And like that's kind of one of the cool things you can take from like the batteries and stuff like that. It's lead, it's nickel, like it's all these different elements all combined in this interesting way that we can harness the forces of natural occurring things to
Yeah, and there's so many
power our
different
daily
natural
stuff.
chemical reactions that people don't even know about.
Yeah.
Just something super simple is like vinegar and baking soda.
a classic.
I have always now then add Mentos.
Oof.
Soda. And run because your mom's going to come for you. So we're going to go into battery types. We have 4 that we kind of talk pretty much about. We've got the starter battery. So that's the GPS battery. Those are all starter batteries.
Yeah, they're like GPS line batteries. Those are our brand stuff. They're good.
Yes.
Yeah. They're typically yeah, you can't even see
Vanna
them.
White it. So that's our starter battery. And then the gel cells is the first generation sealed battery. The wet cells, they're big, they're expensive,
Big,
and they're high
expensive.
maintenance.
High maintenance.
We put
Yeah.
that in there intentionally because, I mean, not many people are doing wet cell. And if you are doing wet cells, or I shouldn't say not many people, but there's not.
Yeah, if you're a wet cell guy, you know what you need.
You know
right?
what you need.
Yeah, you know
and
what
you
you're
know
in.
it's expensive, and you know you're getting
what's
paid
up.
hopefully to maintain it because it's a pain in the tuchus. And then there's the deep cycle, right? So you've got golf carts, power wheels, wheelchairs,
Yeah.
things like that. We a long time ago had we found. I didn't purchase. This person just wanted to give me these power wheel looking creatures that at one time were in a mall. You know, you like it's an elephant rhino, like half the body's an elephant and half the body's a rhino, or like a chicken and a duck. I just never I don't know what the irony behind that was, but it was really fun. And so I wasn't working at Gruber, but I knew where to buy the batteries. So I called Gruber and I was like, I need this battery and this battery. And then I bring it home and I realized this is from Japan. I had to put a coin in it
Oh,
to get it to go. Thankfully, the coins were included.
that's rad.
But the battery didn't fit.
Oh.
And I didn't understand the difference of the international conversion at the moment.
Oh, so
And
you
then
like
my
Japanese
husband looked at
specific.
me and he was like, that's not going to work. So then they didn't work right away. And I had to go buy batteries that just, they were so stupid expensive for that. And I was like, for like 5 minutes of fun?
I don't know why, but that you just unlocked like a weird memory about something my mother did. My mother is a weird lady. No, this.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah, she's something else. She manages to find just like the weirdest stuff. She's one of those people who's like, she's the person who goes to estate sales.
Oh,
like
I love
she
those.
loves looking through stuff. She loves finding weird deals.
Everything has a story.
The first time that she met my girlfriend, and then later on ended up being my wife, we went to the Renaissance Fair together, and she was just casually like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna stop on the side of the freeway because I found a guy to sell me a golf cart." And we were
cool.
like, "What?" And then she was like, "Yeah, I know we're going to the Renaissance Fair with your girlfriend today, but do you think she would mind?"
We're doing it in a golf cart.
Yeah, we're doing it. Like, and I ended up having to find batteries for her too, and it sucks. I didn't know, like, I didn't work for Gruber at that time. This was years ago now, so like, I would have been able to come here and get them at a much better price than she probably found them for. But
Yeah.
that's just a weird random anecdote about my strange mother and her proclivity of finding
So if you
random
have a
deals.
golf cart, we can sell you those batteries.
We can sell you those batteries for all those kind of things,
So,
or like the bike that Pete Gruber rides around on.
oh, I love that bike.
He's
I
got an
think
e-bike
all
now.
of his fun little interesting things that he has around here. It's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started in 2011. I think it was the green Roadster. He had the green, like it was this emerald neon chromy.
Ooh.
I don't know what color exactly it was. Hopefully he can elaborate. But it had this, it's just such a beautiful finish. And my husband used to work down the street and he would always be like, I love this car. This is such a cool car. And then he found out it was electric and that it was a Tesla. And and he's like, oh, what kind of batteries does it take? And last night, my husband was giving me some information on batteries. Sorry, babe, didn't retain it. So we're going to bring up a wet cell battery image. So
Oh yeah,
we
let's
can
get that
show
diagram
you guys.
up.
Yeah,
You
we
can see what we've been talking about. Yeah, there it is.
that. So there's, as you see there, the positive terminal, the heat sealed jar to cover the weld, and then the robotically welded cast on strap and bar. You've got the data code and the model number and all that good stuff. The glass matting, positive grind.
All this is neat to see. You probably won't ever see it. If you see the inside of your batteries, something has gone horribly wrong.
You better be in a hazmat suit. And then there's a vent cap. But hey, Mythbusters will help you. So vent cap and bolt-on connector, liquid reserve, moss garden cell protector, the negative plate. Say that word. Polypropylene.
Wait,
Ethylene.
Wait, yeah.
Say it fast. Polypropylene.
Polypropylene.
Polyethylene
Polyethylene?
envelope. And then the high density, the outer container, and then the mud rest.
Mud
So-
rest.
All of these components is why it's extremely expensive to maintain this sucker, because
Yeah.
we do also offer service on those wet cells too, just so in case anybody knows.
Oh yeah.
So when it comes down to batteries and think about it. If your power goes out, you need something to sustain. We talked about it last week. It's like, power surges and blackouts and things like that.
You never know when that's going to... Something
They're
like that
happening
happened here
Very
a couple
recently.
of weeks ago, where like our entire street, it was like a utility thing. I think a
was
transformer
everyone.
out. Yeah, it was like...
saying it wasn't
yeah.
even reported. Sorry, conspiracy time. It wasn't even reported about all of those outages. It wasn't just the Salt River project. It was also
Really?
Arizona or APS. I don't remember what. Arizona Power Services.
Yeah.
They all there were like
Our like
random
entire like
blackouts.
area just went black for like half of a day. It was very weird.
It was.
Yeah. I mean, and
Mine
we do
too.
UPS, so we were mostly fine. Like any of our really important stuff. Was,
Yeah, our work has us
backup.
covered. Again,
So-
ask your employers what their plan is, because they should have one.
Yeah.
Your town halls.
Because imagine working on a
about it.
project for like, weeks on end, and then it just gets destroyed by a random power surge that just like, because you didn't protect your stuff, it just
Yeah.
fries your computer. And that's totally possible. Power surges can do that if you don't have them properly protected, which is why you should always at least use a surge protector
Oh, for sure.
on any of your
Yeah.
important stuff.
Like
That'll
an
keep it from getting fried.
You can get them at anywhere. You can get them Amazon,
Pretty
Walmart,
much.
Target, pretty much everywhere. And it says
Yeah.
APC. It's black and it's a little electrical.
But you
plate.
want to be really serious about taking care of your stuff, I mean, especially
Yeah.
if you have like sensitive equipment.
Of course.
That like
Computers, things along that line.
manufacturing, they'll a lot of the times like have complicated machines that they can't really deal with power being suddenly cut off. It can damage them
And
in a
mess
really
with
bad
all the
way. They have like exactly.
calibrations.
They have shutdown procedures that they need to go to. A
Yep.
UPS is going to buy you the time that you can.
Yeah, it's going to properly shut down that. Now, for those of you who are like, whatever your salespeople, you have to sell us these things. There are so many times I call customers and I'm like, hey, your batteries are over 10 years old. You need to change them. And they're like, nah, it's still working. And then a few months later, hey,
So,
can I order some of those batteries? Because we're in bypass. I'm like, yeah, I
Yeah.
can send them to you, but now you got 2 weeks.
And like I've been doing this for, like I said, like about a year and a half. I still don't think of myself as a sales guy. I'm just kind of
know.
a weird dude with a personality who happens to sell batteries.
I think it's more conversational. I think I'm weird too.
Yeah.
I think we're all weird. But as far as the conversations go, it's just having the right conversations at the right time. And that's sales. But we don't consider ourselves salespeople because it ultimately is something you already need. It's not like I'm trying to sell you the latest like doodad that can light up your phone, right? So you can get better selfies. Like, I'm not doing that.
Hopefully this reference doesn't go over your head, but
Uh-oh.
I want to be the Hank Hill of UPS batteries. I want to sell UPS and UPS accessories.
Yes.
and I like, I want to take care in the way that he does in the show. I love King of the Hill.
I think King of the Hill's great.
King of the Hill is one of my favorite
My
shows
dad
ever.
sounded like Boomhauer.
But like Hank in there is like he has a family that he's taking care of, but he also just is about getting his customers what they need and not trying to give them what they more than they need, you know,
Right.
what they don't need.
It doesn't matter what it is that you're doing in life. Abundance is unnecessary, right?
Yeah.
We need to learn how to have quality over quantity, especially in America.
Yeah, I just want to, you know, if people call into me, like I'm trying to work just within your budget
Yeah.
to fulfill your needs.
Right.
Like,
and we understand there is a
I don't try to
budgetary thing.
upsell. I understand that there's a budget, and I try to work within it as much as I can to make sure that both of us at the end of the day are
Yeah.
getting what we need. You
Give me
get
a
the product you
ballpark
need.
and let me get you there.
We still like get the money that we could operate, you know, as a business.
Yeah.
Like
We're
that's
not
all my
price
goal
gouging.
is. I'm
No.
not a price gouging kind of guy.
No, like on our website, I think we have the 12-volt 6 for what, $25?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really not
Dang.
even, it's very inexpensive.
Mhm.
And, you know, when it comes down to it, if you buy a larger quantity, no matter where you are, you buy a larger quantity, then you typically get a larger discount, wholesale.
And I do that all the time. I do that for like, you know, somebody will call in and like talk to me and be like, I need this battery, and I'll be like, okay, the online listing says this, but if you order through me, like I'll give you a discount, especially if you order like a specific amount. I'll like drop it by a couple of bucks per unit, just because like I appreciate you working through me, and I'm
course.
trying to establish a relationship. I want to be your guy.
I want to be your gal.
I want to be your Hank.
I want to be your Bobby. Just kidding.
Gosh dang it, Bobby.
So when we talk about our GPS, when we talk, you did not say, Hank Hill, you got an awesome sense of humor, young man.
Thank you.
I don't know who Highlander is, but hi, Highlander.
Thank you, Highlander.
Oh, there's only one Highlander.
There can only be one.
You make us do that every time you're on this.
I've actually never even
Thanks,
seen that
Highlander.
movie.
No, really?
No.
Oh,
I'm
good
very movie
movie.
illiterate.
Oh, I'm
I'm not
very
gonna lie.
obsessed with movies. I wasn't really allowed to watch a whole lot of TV because they were like, oh, go outside and do stuff, right? And so I know. How dare they give me a good metabolism? So I would go to like my friends' houses and stuff like that. It wasn't until I was probably a teenager I learned what South Park was, and I learned about King of the Hill, and then I was corrupted.
Corrupted by the
I was
world.
corrupted from there. I no longer said please and thank you. I said respect my authority. So
I feel like I just made a King of the Hill reference. I got super into cartoons. We're in the last couple of minutes, so we're
Yeah,
kind of
we're
just
just gonna ramble.
whatever. But I grew up loving cartoons. Like I still love cartoons and the history of animation and stuff like that. Like it's something I think about a lot of the time. Like I just have like a weird repository of random animation knowledge in my head that comes up
That's
every
cool.
once in a while. It's not something I can do on the spot because I'm ADHD as heck. But if it comes up, I'll be like, oh, here's a random fun fact for you.
I know. My husband's the same way.
Really?
Like he'll just be sitting there, everyone's talking, and they're like, I don't know how to even do this. And then he'll go, well, step one. And he could just tell you exactly what to do. And I was like, I need to Zoom call you when we're on the podcast. So we're eventually gonna have my husband on here.
Yeah?
I'm calling him out. I challenge you.
A challenge.
You choose to accept it or not. But it's such an interesting mind that a lot of people such as yourself have
Oh.
that have this vast knowledge, and I think my husband says it well. I don't know much about one thing. I know a lot about
I have
a
surface
lot
level
of things.
knowledge
Or I
of
know a little
many,
bit about
many
a lot of
things.
things.
Yeah. It is certainly a double-edged sword. It's fun in conversation sometime. I want to get more down and dirty with some of that stuff.
You
I
guys
would
can do
love-
great in Jeopardy, not board meetings.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I'm the board meeting girl. I just love communicating people. The Adventure of Tom Terrific.
Is this a cartoon? Because this doesn't sound familiar to me.
I need to check it out. The
Makes me think of Tom and
Adventures
Jerry.
Terrific.
I watched a ton of Tom and Jerry growing up. I
I
don't
think
know
a
if you
lot
did.
of us did.
Yeah. Okay.
I was more an Animaniacs person.
Oh,
I love
Animaniacs.
Wacko.
Yo, I still
Wacko taught me how to put the battery in my mouth. Thanks, Wacko. The Simpsons. I think everyone grew up with The Simpsons
Really
in our
not?
day and age.
I didn't.
Really?
Which is weird because I just said that I was super
Captain
into
Kangaroo.
animation, but it
I
wasn't
know
until I was
Captain
older.
Kangaroo.
Captain Kangaroo sounds so familiar too, from the '60s. Oh yeah, was this one of those Hanna-Barbera like era stuff? I bet it was because like man, Hanna-Barbera they hit the bullseye with Scooby-Doo, and then they were like, can we do it again?
Can we do it?
We'll do it over and over again.
Yes.
So then you get all these like Jabberjaw, which is like basically a knockoff mystery game, but with a shark. There was another one, I can't remember the name of it, but like there was like an old ghost guy that was hanging out with them.
Yes.
It was always group of teens and one weird talking thingamajig get into hijinks. And that was like the Hanna-Barbera formula. And it kind of, I believe, eventually led to them like kind of, they put so many eggs into that basket that it didn't work out for them.
They spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eggs do
R.I.P.
that.
Hanna-Barbera. I still love the animation.
I do too. I do too. My kids are obsessed with anime. I don't think I really understand the anime world as much as I want to, but I really appreciate the graphics and the artism. I love watching this artistic point of alternating realities, and I just
I'm a
think it's
huge
great.
geek, so of course I'm into anime.
Oh, of course. My children can draw anime. The Three Stooges, Woody
Three Stooges,
Woodpecker.
Woody Woodpecker.
Woody Woodpecker.
Ah,
Wonder
I used to be able to
Dog.
do his
Who
laugh.
didn't
Wonder
love
Dog
Wonder
I remember
Dog?
too.
Wonder Dog. The Three Stooges. Yeah. I loved them. I used to go like that and like wait for my dad to poke me, but his
Casper the
fingers were
Friendly
long.
Ghost. Oh, that's another solid one.
I love Woody
man.
Woodpecker still.
Was it, do you remember the Alvin and the Chipmunk special? There's like a Halloween one that I think about all the time. It shows up in my brain.
Which one? There's so
It's
many
like
of them.
Alvin and the Meet Frankenstein,
Oh, yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo will always remain number one. Sure will,
Always
Highlander.
number one. It still slaps.
I still say rut-row-roar. I even put it in emails. Rut-row.
I get random animation knowledge that I have off the top of my head
Do
for
it.
some reason. Oh my gosh, did it just leave me? Oh no, it didn't. So
I thought we were
Scooby-Doo, one of the specials that everybody loves, Scooby-Doo and the Zombie Island, I think it was. It was the one that had the Hex sisters. That was originally supposed to be rated PG-13.
It is not.
And then they had to dumb it down. And then the same thing with, do you remember the live action movie?
No, I never watched a live action
You didn't
movie.
Better than it has
Scooby-Doo?
any right. Yeah, there's a Scooby-Doo live action movie.
It has Matthew Lillard in it.
I know, and like
Yeah.
Freddie Prince Jr. or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's incredible. And that movie was actually
was too
supposed to
busy
be
watching Buffy.
It was either supposed to be rated PG-13 or R. Which is why like there's marijuana references in it. There's like suggestive
Oh,
themes, and they had
I
to dumb
didn't know.
down a bunch of it to try to like they had to like redo the script.
Oh, see, I thought Shaggy was always a stoner, so that just kind of.
Yeah, well, it's
Makes
always been
sense.
hinted, but like that was like the first
So
time
there
that
was
they
an
almost overtly. Yes,
Oh.
and this is going to be a real like D side. There was a comic book series
Oh,
made for Scooby-Doo called Scooby Apocalypse
I did not know
that
that.
I loved. It was so good. I still have it.
We'll have to watch it. We'll
It-
definitely have to watch
It
it.
was a
Or
comic
read
book
it. Sorry.
about like it sounds like there's a kind of a zombie apocalypse where everybody gets turned into monsters, and it's like legit like the gang, but it's like totally like more adult and super dark. It was so
I don't know if you see it driving around
good.
here in northern Phoenix, but if you do in any way ever visit North Phoenix or whatever and you're on Deer Valley, there is a guy that drives a van around that is painted exactly as the Scooby-Doo van. And it's the Mystery Machine. And I just think it's so cool.
There's
And then
that?
he dresses like Shaggy.
Oh, that I'd never seen him, and that's
Yeah.
rad.
He dresses like Shaggy.
There's that, and then there's also like a replica of the Jurassic Park Jeep that I see around North
I
Phoenix all
do
the
see
time
that.
too.
You
And that
know,
is so
I'm
rad.
from Kauai, and that's where Jurassic Park was filmed. And they
that
still,
makes sense.
yeah, there's a little place and area. It's called the Blue Room, and around it was the waterfall scenes. So with the
Oh.
track and the waterfalls and then the dinosaurs. They
so
still
rad.
had like some of the wiring and things like that.
Love the
But
movie.
we are kind of at our Gruber
Yeah.
half hour.
Half hour, we're
Conception.
definitely over. Wait, the
Do it.
bit must continue.
Do it.
Hello, camera. I would like to talk to you directly. I wanted my personal. No. Yes, there we go. Hi, it's me again. I did this bit 2 weeks ago. I need to feed both myself, my wife, and 2 cats. Please buy Gruber batteries. Buy them for me specifically. I'm at ald@gruber.com. Come on, just send me an
Wait,
email.
we're
If you
competing.
mention
No, gut.
if you mention that I did this, I don't know, maybe I'll give you a discount. It'll probably just
10%.
make me laugh. Yeah, 10%. Sure. You just threw that out there. Why not? It'll give you a discount. Buy all the
Reference this
batteries.
video and you
I don't
might
care
get
what you do
15.
with them. You can put them in a warehouse. You can throw them in a lake. Don't throw them in a lake. That's
Don't
really
throw 'em
bad
in
for
a
the
lake.
environment.
Don't listen to this
Don't
guy.
do that. Well, listen to all the parts up until that part.
Yep.
Buy batteries. That's all I got for you. ALD@gruber.com. You know where to reach me. Reference it, and it'll make me laugh, and I'll think it's really funny, and then I'll probably give you a great discount.
Just email him with the subject line, ruh-roh.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. I need some batteries.
Next time on Gruber Power Hour, I'm Erica.
I'm Wyatt. It's been fun.
Aloha.